Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about used car wholesale values because things are starting to look pretty dang ugly. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. I recently made a video talking about the recent decline of the used car market because wholesale values have started to see some sharp declines across segments, which is not good news. Now, this is something that, as a consumer, you're not going to see right away because the retail market always lags behind the wholesale market. But, with the fact that we can see the wholesale data, it shows what will most likely happen to the retail market in the coming months. And things are starting to escalate. And I want to talk about why things are starting to escalate and then what this means moving forward for the used car market and how you can use this information as someone who is potentially shopping for a used car or is looking to sell their vehicle, because this is a pretty rocky market to go into. So, first off, when it comes to why this is happening, it's for a number of different reasons. First off, the whole car repossession situation is not getting any better. It seems like month over month, repossessions continue to increase. And if you're wondering how repossessions affect the used car market, basically you have a situation where if there's more repos, that means that there are more cars going into the used car market, and the cars that are going in from these repossessions are not in good condition. These are usually the worst examples. Again, if someone's not going to be making their payments on a car, do you really think they're going to pay for the maintenance and other stuff on that car? No. So you've got a bunch of crappy cars that I wouldn't say necessarily are flooding the market, but there are more of those available in the market. So that's the first thing, is there's an increase, I guess you could say, in availability. Again, the used car market's still pretty constrained, but there is a little bit of an increase in availability of crappy cars. Now, the next thing is interest rates, right? They haven't really changed all that much for used cars over the last few months, but they're still really high. The thing that is affecting the used car market more so than interest rates in the finance world is actually approvals. Lending institutions are becoming very bearish, as you might say, when it comes to approvals. It's actually really hard to get someone approved on a car in today's market unless their situation is in the more positive direction, right? In the more ideal direction where they've got money down, better credit, all that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of buyers that have been kicked out of the market, not because they can't afford the interest rate in terms of what they're willing to pay for a car, but rather the lending institution doesn't think they can afford today's interest rates. They don't want to give them a loan. So that's also causing weakness in the used car market and also over in the new car market as well, but less so when it comes to the new car market. So you've got repossessions, you've got this situation with people struggling to get approved on used cars, and you pair that with the fact that there's just not really great used car inventory right now. Like, there's not a lot of options, and the options that are out there aren't necessarily the best. And it makes sense as to why you see people not really excited about purchasing used cars. And so naturally, when you have a market situation like this, supply and demand dynamics, then prices are going to have to come down, because it's gotten to the point where you have these cars that just are sitting on dealer lots for longer and longer. And so the only way that these cars are going to go is if the prices start to come down. And again, this is what we're starting to see in the wholesale market. The retail values haven't reflected that quite yet. So yeah, I think all those factors combined is why we're starting to see these values, pull back. Now, in terms of what this means for the market moving forward, there's a few things. So first off, trade-in values are going to be a lot lower. Like, dealers are getting to the point where they keep getting burned. Like, over the last couple of years, dealers have gotten burned a lot when it comes to used cars. Yes, there are some times where dealers have been able to catch things at the right point to where they buy a used car at a lower valuation, then the market kind of goes up a little bit. They're able to make a decent profit. But there's also been a lot of times, like right now, where dealers have bought cars and now they have to lose a ton of money to sell those cars. And so because of this, up and down market that we've seen, that where the fluctuations have been a little bit higher than what you see in a typical market, it's caused dealers to kind of pull back a little bit, where they're going to bid lower than what they might normally bid, because they're concerned about what's going to happen with the valuation on that car. Again, if you are a dealership and you see that you have all this inventory that you have to lose money on because of what's happened with the market, and someone comes in and wants to trade in a car and you're like, okay, well, is this going to be another car that's going to sit on my lot for 60 to 100 to 200 plus days and I don't have to lose, thousands of dollars to sell, right? You're probably going to bid it a little bit lighter than what you might normally do in a normal market. So that's the first thing moving forward. Is I think trade-in values from dealers are going to get really soft. Like, I would not be surprised if we start to see dealers offer significantly under market value in terms of like trade-in market value on cars because of what is currently happening. Now, the next thing is, of course, retail values are going to come down. It always takes time, but I think we're going to see a pretty big softening in retail values. I mean, we're already starting to see some segments lose over 1% per week in their wholesale values. And the retail values with these cars are also coming down at not as quick of a rate, but they are coming down. And so, again, depending on the price category you're looking at, this could lead to very large dollar amounts. I mean, I'm seeing the cars that are 6 figures plus, where if you lose 1% per week, I mean, you're like $1,000, right? Every single week. Like, you're seeing huge discounts happen on these cars that have been sitting on dealer lots for quite some time because of the value losses. So, depending on the price category, you could see, again, in terms of the raw numbers, some pretty big declines, in the thousands. And with some cars, it could be, over 5 figures in terms of the price decline, which, I mean, that's huge savings for the consumer. Now, in terms of how you can use this information to help you out if you are, looking to trade in your car or if you're looking to buy a used car, first off, we'll start with buying the used car. I would just be patient. Now, I can't predict what's going to happen in the market. Nobody can predict what's going to happen in the market. But what we are seeing right now is there are price declines. And when there are price declines, that means that negotiability for customers improves, because a lot of times dealers would just rather get rid of a car now than lose more money in the future. And then what that also means is that, well, the more patient you are, the higher the chances that you're going to be able to get that same exact car for less money in the future. So if you're looking to buy a used car, right, if something makes sense to you now, then it makes sense, right? I'm not going to get in the way of that. But if you can exercise patience, if you can wait, if you don't really need a car, then that could, again, not will, but could potentially pay off. Now, when it comes to trading in your car, similar situation, right? So values are going down right now. So like, if they continue to go down and if there's no sort of rebound, then like the sooner you trade in your car, the better, because then you're going to get more money, especially if you're buying a new car. Now, I didn't talk about the new car market because that's not what this video is about, but the discounts that are had on some new cars right now are enormous. And so if you paired those big discounts with trading in your car now, when the value is going to be higher than what it will be in a few weeks if these declines continue, then that could be another way that you save money. So again, I always say exercise patience. I'm always like a cautious type person with that. But with what's happening in the market, it could be to your benefit if you're looking at trading in your car for a newer car to act sooner rather than later, because you've got big discounts on some new cars paired with, what could potentially be the highest trade-in value that you'll get in the, short to medium to potentially long term, depending on what happens with the market. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation within the used car market. I'll see you.